A system built on hierarchy will repeatedly protect power before it protects vulnerable people. Welcome back to the Revolution Resolution. I'm Malaika Tubbs. Over the last several episodes, we've been looking more honestly at the system we are living inside. Not only how it shapes relationships and communities, but how it protects itself when people challenge hierarchy. This is all in preparation for us to find the courage we need to fight, no matter how scary it might feel. We talked about solidarity being treated as dangerous, about truth tellers being punished, about people refusing erasure despite backlash. And today, I want to talk about something even more difficult. What happens when the institutions people are told to trust refuse to protect them at all? Because one of the most painful truths about American patriarchy is this: many of the systems presented as sources of safety were never designed to protect everyone equally. And they likely won't protect us when we start standing up for ourselves either. American patriarchy has always relied on controlling women. Our choices, our movement, our voices, our labor, our bodies, and our relationships. And we've already discussed how throughout history, women who've resisted those controls were often treated as threats. Sometimes publicly, sometimes privately, sometimes through violence, sometimes through institutions. Domestic violence was normalized, minimized, or ignored. And even when laws eventually changed on paper, enforcement remained deeply unequal. Again and again, women were told to rely on systems that repeatedly failed to protect them. And few stories reveal this more painfully than Jessica Lenahan's. In 1999, Jessica Lenahan, a Latina and Native American mother living in Colorado, was terrified. Her estranged husband, Simon Gonzalez, had a long history of verbal, physical, and sexual abuse against her. Jessica had courageously separated from him and obtained a restraining order requiring him to stay away from her and their 3 daughters. But Simon repeatedly violated the order. Then one day, he kidnapped the girls outside his scheduled visitation time. Jessica immediately called the police. Again and again, she pleaded with them to help enforce the restraining order and find her daughters. Again and again, they dismissed her. At one point, after Simon contacted Jessica and told her he was with the girls at an amusement park, police responded, "At least you know the children are with their father." Hours passed. Jessica kept asking for help. The police still did nothing. Late that night, Simon arrived at the police station and opened fire. Police killed him. Then they discovered the bodies of Jessica's 3 daughters in his truck. It is difficult to fully absorb the horror of this story. Jessica followed the rules. She sought legal protection. She trusted the system she was told existed to keep families safe. And still, the system abandoned her and her children. But the story did not end there. Jessica sued the police department, arguing the restraining order should have been enforced and that her daughters' lives mattered. The case eventually reached the Supreme Court of the United States. And in a 7-2 decision, the court ruled against her. The message was devastating. The police were not constitutionally required to protect her or enforce the restraining order. Again, we must understand what this reveals. American patriarchy does not only survive through individual acts of violence, it also survives through institutional indifference to that violence, institutional protection of that violence, through systems that repeatedly prioritize authority and hierarchy over vulnerable people's lives. And Jessica's story also reveals something else. the burden women are often forced to carry inside these systems. Jessica later said that had she known the police would refuse to help, she might have tried to protect her daughters herself, even if that meant risking imprisonment. And tragically, many women who defend themselves against abuse do end up criminalized. The United States incarcerates women at extraordinarily high rates. Many incarcerated women are survivors of domestic violence. Many acted in self-defense. Many were punished after years of trying to survive situations institutions failed to stop. So women are often trapped inside impossible conditions, punished for vulnerability, punished for resistance, punished for speaking, punished for surviving. And this is why we must stop mistaking the existence of institutions for the existence of justice. Because systems built on hierarchy protect themselves first. We must become more honest about what the structures themselves were designed to preserve. And before we move into conversations about how we build differently, how we relate differently, and how we create more humane futures, we must fully understand this truth. The current system has repeatedly shown us what it is willing to tolerate in order to preserve the hierarchy. We cannot change what we refuse to see clearly. So today, I want to leave you with a few questions. What institutions have you been taught to trust automatically? Who do those systems consistently protect? And what becomes possible once we stop confusing authority with safety or hierarchy with justice? If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who has helped you see the world more honestly, even when that honesty was difficult. And remember, systems reveal themselves not only through what they punish, but through what they allow to continue.